Joseph proposes in a critical text that the most prominent duality is the rural-urban dichotomy, with rural India stereotypically represented as the custodian of rural, idealized peasant virtues. Adiga reveals that this representation is in fact a fake projection of the ruling class to write over the reality of urban India. Adiga represents this reality as an equally corrupt wasteland through the eyes of Balaram. From the vantage point of an old fort on a hill, an iconic shot of a romanticized scene of My Little Laxman Gar is subverted. The glistening line of sewage, the landlord's mansion, the water buffalo. These images recall environmental decline, feudal repression, and the fallacy of microedit to provide a scene of continuing colonization of the rural that has entirely disenfranchised rural communities of the human needs Balaram lists: electricity, water, and food. Balaram contrasts this standard of living to those of his employer, Mr. Ashok, who enjoys a comfortable, lavish lifestyle, a sharp contrast to Balaram's upbringing and reality as a servant. Thus, Adiga represents the reader with an internalization of a class and ideological divide through Balaram's narration in a way that evokes us in the same upheaval and disorder the divide evokes in Balaram and other Indians.
Adiga additionally explores Balaram's belief in the rejection of tradition in favor of embracing the more individualistic neoliberal morality. Throughout the novel, Balaram refers to traditional India and its customs as the rooster coop, describing it as the greatest thing to come out of this country in its 10,000 years of history. He likens the working class of India to that of chickens waiting to be slaughtered, knowing of their fate but doing nothing to escape it. Balaram then goes on to explain that the root of this is the Indian family, the pride and glory of the nation. By remaining in a collectivized state of being with emphasis on history and set precedent, they are unable to advance forward into change, instead stagnating. In comparison, after seeing himself in the white tiger caged at the zoo, Balaram realizes he can no longer live his life in a cage, instead choosing to pursue the individual neoliberal life of entrepreneurship, which he believes is the future, a career of light that removes him from the city's darkness. Through first-person narration, Balaram conveys his inner struggle at this choice, ultimately coming to the conclusion that only a man prepared to see his family destroyed can break out of the coop. While literal, this conclusion is also symbolic of the necessity of rejecting tradition and family to follow neoliberalism, ultimately an individual concept. Thus, Balaram embraces what he believes is the universalized concept of neoliberalism in his rejection of tradition and the